So
We would like
there's
to
a
hear.
fox and she has a
Play.
chicken.
Yeah.
And she's like walking with the chicken, and then it becomes dark, and she's like, oh, I don't have a place to sleep. So she goes to like some house, and she's like, oh, can I sleep here? And the man is like, oh yes, but I don't have like a lot of place, so you can sleep on the oven, because like in Ukraine you have like this big oven, and it's like extended here, so you can sleep on it. It's really
Right.
nice because it's
Okay.
also warm.
Yeah.
And then she like sleeps there, and then in the night she wakes up and she eats the chicken, and then she like the bones, I don't know,
Hides the bones.
She hides the bones.
And the
And then she
feathers.
wakes up, she's like, oh no, someone stole my duck.
Yeah.
And then
Chicken.
Chicken.
oh, chicken, yeah. And then she's like, and the guy's like, oh, you can look where the ducks live, because he has ducks. And she's like, oh no, someone stole it, so now you have to give me your duck, because like it's your house and you're responsible for it. So then she has a duck, and she goes to like the next place, and she's like, oh, can I sleep here? And he's like, oh yeah, you can store the ducks with the
Dog.
goose, I think. Yes, with the geese. With the geese.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
with the
And then she eats the duck at night. She wakes up again, and she's like, oh, someone stole my geese. And then
Duck. And she gets a geese.
oh,
and
she gets
a goose.
she gets a goose. No, yeah, she gets a lamb, and then she goes to like a big house, and she's like, oh, can I sleep here? And the guy's like, yes, but I don't have a lot of place, because I have like my son with his wife and all his children, but you can put your lamb with the like the cows, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
And
Yeah.
then he's like, sure. She eats the lamb again, and then she wakes up. She's like, oh, someone stole my lamb. And then she's like, you know, I want your the wife of your son. And he's like, okay, sure. So she takes the wife, but then like the husband comes and he puts, instead of the wife, he puts like 2 dogs, but like not
In
In
the
the
bag.
bag. In the bag.
yeah, in the bag, but like not too normal. It's the chod.
Yeah,
Yes, like hunting
Hunting
dogs.
dogs.
Yeah.
Like hounds. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how they're called in English. So then she takes
The fox.
the fox takes the bag, and then she's like, why is the wife like barking? So
the wife was in the bag.
yeah, she became wild.
Yeah.
So
Not
then
to give up the
she
wife.
opens the bag, and these dogs come out, and they want to like eat her. So she runs into like a little hole,
Okay.
Yeah.
and she stays there, and she's like, oh, legs, what were you doing when I was running from the dogs? And the legs are like, oh, we were running as fast as we could, so the dogs wouldn't eat your nice
Golden.
golden fleece.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, feet, you're so nice. I will buy you a pair of golden shoes. And then she's like, oh, eyes, what were you doing when I was running from the dog? And the eyes are like, we were looking so that you could run as fast as you could. And your golden fleece, la la la. And then she goes like through all her body parts, and then she comes to her tail. And she's like, oh, tail, what were you doing when I was running from the dogs? And the tail, he gets offended, and he's like, you know what? I was like trying to get you stuck into trees so that your golden fleece was torn apart and you would die. And she's like, oh, I really hate you. And then she puts like out her tail, and she tells the dogs to bite the tail off because the
Okay.
tail is bad. But then the dogs take her by the tail.